Um, don't think poorly of me. I'm not a pop figure collector, but this little guy has been calling out to me for a hot moment, and I finally, hello, call me beauty. I finally caved and purchased this lad. Look, it's not a square, so it's superior to most pop figures. Um, Eventually, I will crawl under my bed to get the rest of my Maleficent pseudo shrine to put on my little thing for Halloween spook season, but I don't feel like going under there right now. So let's get this dragon out. Ah! This little guy. This is a good guy. Look at him. Okay, but you can judge me all you want, but this is a dragon, and it doesn't look like a pop figure. Also, this thing's hefty as heck. Like, this is a very durable dude. Dudette, whatever. Yeah. So, it's gonna go up here. Some spookiness up there. You know what? I'm gonna put it on the other side so it's more balanced. There we go. And once I get the other bigger Maleficent figure I have that's currently under my bed out and back released into the world, she can sit on the other side, or they might be flipped based on whichever one is taller. I also have this little pumpkin. My mom tried to yard sale him, but I refused to let her. Look at this little guy. He's real cute. He's real cute. I would have more Halloween decorations, but I am very short. If it's not like apparent from my streams that I'm a short lass, and for whatever reason, my family has put all of the Halloween decorations on like a top shelf in our basement, and I cannot reach them. So I see you have Berserk there. Yeah, I'm a woman of taste. See, I do have taste. So I'm gonna go put the pumpkin next to the Maleficent dragon. So I was trying to get the skeleton out to put on the skeleton with the Squishmallow Jack that I've still stolen from my sister. It's volume 1. Um, but alas, this is my setup. The pumpkin. I know. I had to go unbury him from downstairs because my mom tried to hide him, but I found him. Okay, so I understand that my attire might look somewhat Lolita-ish, but according to the Gothic Lolita subreddit on Reddit, this is not true Lolita attire. So I will show you how. I'm not a real Lolita. I'm just a goth, not a Gothic Lolita right now. So give me a second to become like an actual Lolita. So if you've noticed, I'm not wearing a little hat. And to be a Lolita, you have to wear a little hat. So I will put on my little hat. Dang it, I got distracted with the short. I didn't remember that I was in your live. Please find a witch hat for Tiny at some point. All my witch hats, like I do have like little witch hats that are like clip-ons, so in the same bin that I can't reach in the basement currently with my regular size witch hat. So eventually, the Squishmallows on the bed will get witch hats. Not yet though. Eventually. Let's put that back in the container so I don't trip over it again. See, right now, I'm just a poser, but now, I am no longer a poser. See, I'm not, I'm a real gothic Lolita now. Wait, put my little hat on. Shit. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can get this in without stabbing myself. Haven't managed it yet, but let's try it. Okay. And according to the Gothic Lolita subreddit, I also am violating another rule that I am insisting on violating because I think it's funny. I have nothing against Gothic Lolitas. I'll be real. They're all of the ones that I've met in person and in the wild have been great. I mean, the ones I met in the wild are also in person. So I've never like face to face met somebody who like considers themselves a Gothic Lolita who wasn't a nice person. But the subreddit is filled with a bunch of pretentious people, and I think it's funny to screw with them. So what I'm wearing now, my shirt has short sleeves, right? So according to proper Gothic Lolita etiquette, I'm not supposed to be wearing long tights. I'm supposed to be wearing, if you have short sleeves, you're supposed to wear short socks. And I am not. Fight me. Fight me. Also, I'm supposed to be wearing gloves or something upon my wrists to really make it fit or whatever. But I'm gaming, so it's gonna get in the way. Whatever. I'm not a true Gothic Lolita. I'm a poser, a filthy plebeian. Also, someone button mashed. And there's something wrong with my, aha, hopefully it'll work now. I'm done yammering. Long sock. Long sock, more like wrong sock. Sorry, that was, a controversial move. back to our regularly scheduled Castlevania. Okay, so I don't know if the PlayStation 4 is supposed to do this. If you remember from my previous stream, we had some technical difficulties, and by we, I mean me. I don't know what I did, but I broke my PlayStation, and it hated me. But it's back, baby, and now every time I start it up, it does this. I don't know if this is like a normal thing that the PlayStation's supposed to do. Yeah, well, but every time I try to start my PlayStation up, instead of just assuming that it's me, it makes me like log in. Real gamers don't follow preset societal rules. Look, I went on to the or just the Lolita subreddit just to find out if wearing vintage clothing and okay, so with Lolita fashion, I'm now tangenting. Part of it is you have to have certain layers. So you have like, this is a jumper skirt, so it's basically a dress that is a sleeveless dress, and you wear a shirt under it. And then you have like a petticoat that makes it fluff, and you have whatever leg attire you're wearing, and that is what I'd consider Lolita, right? So went onto the Lolita subreddit to ask if, instead of using a Lolita jumper skirt like this one, you could, one that's like classified as a Lolita jumper skirt, you could use something like, I have vintage clothing, right? And so I was like, hey, if I were to wear this vintage dress to a Lolita tea party, if I were to ever attend one, would this be considered Lolita attire, or would this be considered like a fusion of different fashion? And so I posted 3 different pictures, one of which I knew was not Lolita from the get-go, but I just posted it as an example. And it was like, okay, picture number 2, I'm kind of like, it's a fusion, I don't know. And I got ripped to shreds. So, like, there were I'm not gonna say that the whole entire Lolita subreddit was mean. That's not the case. There were some very nice people that were like, yeah, technically speaking, these are the aspects that are considered Lolita, and they actually answered my question. But I had other people that were just like on me, like, if you don't know what Lolita fashion is, don't you dare try to fuse it with something else. You are a poser, and they were just really like on me. And the thing that stuck out to me most was, if you're not wearing a little hat, it's not Lolita. Thank you. Well, this dress is considered a Lolita dress, but like the one I was asking about specifically, let me go in my closet. Like, getting side quested over here. this dress right here, which is considered, I guess, a jumper skirt, if I wore this without the Lolita, like, whatever, would this be considered a Lolita dress? Like, you can't see it, but it's, you know what I'm saying? If I were to wear this dress, would this be considered a Lolita dress? I never got a definitive answer. I feel like out of all the rules, the tiny hat rule is the only one that matters. Just that one sticks out to me. Also, apparently I don't have enough accessories, so what I'm wearing now would not be considered Lolita attire because I don't have little wrist cuffs, nor do I have a necklace on. So I could say that this is a Lolita dress and a Lolita shirt, but it's not a Lolita outfit, which is apparently a thing. Anywho, back to Castlevania, a game that never gates me, not ever. Okay, so another fun thing. Remember how in my previous stream I was like, yeah, YouTube is certainly gonna get mad at me for this one. Yeah, that one is violated community guidelines. I don't know why, but it has some restrictions. Let me see what the restrictions are for, because I noted that it had restrictions, but I did not actually figure out why. But I think it might be because I said the words I said sex on stream. But let's see what the restrictions were for. Learn more. This video not suitable for most advertisers, but it doesn't tell me why. Tell me why. It won't let me know details. Why do you not like me? Okay, so I'm gonna assume that, yeah, I said some things. It might have been because I was saying that I said the CH word next to the SEX word, and YT was really not thrilled with me doing that. Yeah, I can't believe YouTube is trying to gatekeep education. Wow. YouTube is anti-Castlevania streams with a hint of education. So, I'm not mad, I'm just really amused, but I think this is really funny. Not as funny as the times... Okay, the first time the YouTube algorithm detected me as baby-faced and a minor, I thought it was really funny, but ever since then, I'm just over it. So I'm hoping that this is a one-time thing, and my channel doesn't get restricted again. Anywho, I made it to a boss. The boss kicked my butt. It's a pair of dragons, and I'm not really I don't like them. Like, I'm normally like a fan of dragons, but these dragons need to, in the words of Einstein, F off. Okay, but to be fair, the educational videos with the bare buttholes are on, you do have to sign in and say that you're over 18 to watch those. And they never at any point in the video mention the existence of people under the age of 18 with underdeveloped brains, so... Well, YouTube got a new CEO a few months ago, and it's really taken a right-wing slant since then. Did they? I was unaware of this. I do know that, as of November, some YouTube stuff will be changing, and I'm really hoping that they finally, for the love of God, put all the kids' stuff on a completely different channel or a different website, so that there's no chance of anything I upload being considered a something for the youth of today. But I doubt that's gonna happen. It'd be cool if it did, though. Because I am sick and tired of having people that I can, like, clearly tell are either under the influence or under the age of, adulthood commenting on my stuff. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Look, I'm okay with people having their own politics, as long as their politics don't affect other people just doing their stuff. Like, if your politics affect your business, maybe they shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm not the CEO of anything. I'm just a shitposter who occasionally tries to play games terribly. Get Daily Wire stuff pushed on you all the time. Well, pro tip. I don't know if it still applied, but I know that back when you still could right-click a channel and say, don't show me anything from this creator, I did that to everything from, like, the Daily Wire and, like, all of Ben Shapiro's stuff. So that is stuck in place, so I no longer see any of that anymore. I'm not sure if you can still do that. You know what? Let's find out. Let's find out if you can still do it. Okay, let's go to YouTube. Who do I not want to see content from? You know what? I'm tired of the Associated Press. Let's right-click. Oh, wait. Not interested. Don't recommend channel. We won't recommend videos from this channel to you again. There you go. That's how you do it. Fox Weather. I'm tired of you guys. I don't need to know how don't recommend channel. There we go. Who are these people? Okay, so that's how you do it. Pro tip. I do that, but it's still only a band-aid. Oh, you mean like in the ads? Yeah, I can't help you with that. I wish I could, but I can't. I get when I am on devices that do not have ad blocker. I've never used an ad blocker before in my life. What am I talking about? I get the anti-gay ads, and I think that's really funny. Just YouTube's like, you know what? This person, I get anti-gay ads, and I also get the mental health ads, which I also find really funny. So I don't get like conservative stuff ads. I just get like, hey, maybe I guess the anti-gay things are conservative. I also get anti-AI ads, which I think those are always really funny, because any legitimate argument that they have against AI is concealed in a level of fear and not being educated about the subject they're fearing, and I can't take those seriously. I think you get the anti-gay ads because of the state you're in. That checks out. That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm in a state where I'm not gonna say. Just know that I live in the South, the deep South, and a lot of my state is one of the ones that's on the news a lot. So there's like 5 different states that narrows it down to. Just pick any of them. That's where I live. I think my problem is I almost exclusively watch political content. Say, I'm gonna be real. My understanding of politics has dwindled so much since the writer's strike, because I straight up, yes, I'll watch the news, but I don't really watch it. I'd prefer to read it from multiple sources. But because I don't watch the news, the way I found out about things, like, to research from multiple sources is from comedians and just like comedy comedy news outlets like The Daily Show, SNL, I would like watch those, find out about something, be like, that sounds insane, let's figure out what really happened, and then I'd read it from 10 different sources and be like, wow, that's insane. But I can't watch the news by itself. It's not brief. Like, the news has a really big problem with not getting to the point. Okay, I have heard about the Unity drama. From my understanding, they want to charge the company, or Unity wants to charge gaming companies, like devs, every time someone installs their program, which, wow, that's not great. And nobody likes that. Okay, anywho, back to this boss fight. Wait. Shoot. Am I winning? Stop attacking me, please. Okay, something's not going right. Okay. I don't like these lag, and it's greedy XEACEO who just wants all the money. Is that the whole Unity thing? Okay, so that's my issue with the news. Like, I don't want to watch 2 hours of nothing to figure out what's actually going on. And hilariously, comedians get to the point so much quicker than actual news outlets. So even if the comedian like exaggerates something, I at least know what to look up without having to get through all that fluff to figure out what's going on in the world. And I don't know. Maybe that's a weird take. Also, I miss back in the day when you had could nowadays I feel like the only comedians that actually explain, go over the news in a way that's actually like accurate to what's happening are more liberal comedians, which I hate, because I like to have like know what's going on both sides. Like, I don't just want to only like consume liberal media, but when it comes to comedians like telling you what's going on, the liberal media is more likely to make fun of their own political party or the people that they voted for than conservatives nowadays. I I don't know. I feel like that's a new thing. I get my news from LW. I'm assuming that's live streamers. Don't get your news from me. I'm way behind. I found out about the whole Titanic gate about 2 weeks after it happened. So I get my news from comedians. Okay. I get my news from internet. internet racists and internet gays fighting each other on Twitter. I used to be able to use Twitter as like an actual news outlet, but ever since the Musk man bought it, there is very little news that I see on Twitter. Like, it used to be actual, like, I'd actually see news things and be like, wow, that sucks. But Musk man definitely made an instant impact on the amount of actual news you see on Twitter. Like with Musk man, I'd before Musk man, I mean, I would go on Twitter, see an article, be like, damn, that sucks, and then they'd be making jokes about that suckish situation on the Daily Show that evening. But now, but then Musk man bought it, and my only outlet was comedians. Yeah, Twitter is definitely something. I'll be real. I mostly use Twitter now, not because of crud. I don't use Twitter for the reasons that I used Twitter before. I use it now because I have friends on Twitter that don't use any other social media. I use it because I like following artists and I like following cosplayers and just seeing what people are doing at conventions and talking to people that I might interact with at cons I might go to later, and that's cool. But I don't really use and memes. Yeah, Twitter is still a great place for memes, but not for any memes that aren't like anime related. So Gundam Twitter is still alive and thriving, and I love that for it. But if you're going on Twitter for anything that's real world, whatever, just don't. Just don't. It's only good for fandom stuff now. Okay, I'm gonna go level up. Let's go level up. It's the only way. Oh, by the way, give me a second to not die and then I will read this. Ah! Sorry, I'm trying not to die. I want to know about char clones, but these stupid guys keep attacking me in a way that I can't easily just stop and look away from. Stop attacking me! Okay, you know what? Screw you. I don't have to deal with this, and I won't. Just a little trespassing. Just a marginal amount of breaking and entering. Oh, by the way, Gundam Twitter just had a poll for the best char clone. Guess who won? I'm gonna guess Mommy Char from, Gundam, Witch from Mercury. That's gonna be my guess, because she's my favorite char clone, so if it okay, wait a second. Are we only talking about char clones in Gundam media? I could never get into Gundam, there's so much of it. Yeah, there's a lot of Gundam, I will not deny. I'm kind of, I feel like the Gundam community probably wouldn't welcome me to their fray if they knew that I am not the Gundam fan in the way that other Gundam fans are fans of Gundam. Like, other people are like, whoa, robot fight, so cool. And I'm like, no, it's the goofier the mech battle animations are, the more I enjoy them. So even though the fights in Zeta, which is okay, so Gundam has a lot of spin-offs in like alternate universes. I would recommend if you wanna get into Gundam, don't start with those, because why would you wanna consume a Char clone when you could consume the real Char. The real Char Aznable, if you get what I'm saying. So, the one that you're supposed to start with is the 79 anime that came out in 1979, and I like the fighting in that one more so than the fighting in its sequel Zeta, solely because the fighting in the 79 anime is so funny. You can tell that they didn't have a, like, I don't know if it was budget, I don't know if it was animation, but I really thought it was hilarious. Like, the fight scenes in the first Gundam series, especially for the first, like, 20-something episodes, if you edited Amuro into a car and had mailboxes and made it look like he was, like, learning how to drive and dodging mailboxes, nothing would change. That's how goofy like every time Amuro got behind the wheel or into the mech, I couldn't stop laughing because I always thought of myself at like the butt crack of dawn going out with my dad, learning how to drive and almost hitting the neighbor's mailbox. Oh, I am the average Gundam fan. I was under the impression that Gundam fans are like, whoa, mech. So Harry Old was like the runner up. Okay, I'm sorry, but I haven't finished Turn 8 Gundam, so maybe I'm wrong here, but can you really consider Harry a true... I feel like Harry's entire existence is kind of ironic. Like, Harry's a very special boy. He's a doofus. Do I respect Harry? Yeah, maybe. If you get into Gundam, in my humble opinion, as someone who isn't, like, mech fights put me to sleep. I'ma be real. If people are, unless the mech fight involves somebody having a mental breakdown in the mech, I'm not even, I'm sorry, that sounds so terrible coming from, like, but, if you're not crying in your mech, why should I be interested in it? I watched EVA. I preferred Gundam. Like, I'm not calling EVA bad. I'm not saying it's a bad series. I'm not hating on anyone who has seen it and enjoyed it. I'm not saying I did not personally enjoy it. But after watching it, also note that before I watched EVA, I watched and read Devilman, I watched and read Berserk. I had seen a lot of other series that are a little bit darker that it clearly drew inspiration from. And so I understand why it's as popular as it is. I'm not saying it shouldn't be as popular as it is, but after watching it, I did not, how do I put this? It wasn't bad, but I expected it to be, it might be a little bit overhyped, just a smidgen, a bit overhyped. I don't know how controversial that take is. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say it with confidence. EVA, Evangelion, however the hell it's pronounced, is overhyped. I'm not saying it's bad. I just think it is treated like it was the first anime to do any of the things that it did, was the way that I kind of how how I was led to believe it was. I feel like I would have enjoyed it so much better if I went in blind. That's that's a better way of putting it. So like when you go into a show blind, which is how I prefer to consume my media, like someone says, "Ooh, this is good, you'll like it," and gives me like one detail about it and I know nothing else, I am more likely to enjoy a show that's like mediocre with that than if somebody tells me like a good show is great when it's just good, if that makes any sense. So if somebody tells me that EVA, which I would consider like, I know my ratings are skewed. I use the entire like all 10 when I'm saying something like out of 10. So if something's average to me, I don't give it like a 7. I give it a 5. Okay? So I would consider EVA a solid 7.5 out of 10 using the entire like 10 things. So that's not like an average, that's like a grade, right? But when somebody tells you that a show that in my opinion is a 7.5 out of 10 is a 10 out of 10, and you go into it with all of these high expectations and it's not nearly as good as you went into it thinking it was going to be, that's not as, you're more disappointed than if nobody told you anything and you watched the show and it was a solid 5 out of 10. So I feel, do I think that the hype is unwarranted? No. Do I feel like a lot of the people hyping it haven't watched anything else in the genre and don't really have anything to compare it to? So when they say that it's a unique, first of its kind masterpiece, they kind of are talking out of their asses because they do not know, haven't watched anything else in the genre. Yes, that I believe is true. Like, you can't tell me EVA is the first ever, the first mech series to ever have the fact that children are fighting in war as a pivotal plot point when things like Gundam have existed for 30 years prior to it. Or not 30, 20 years prior to it. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but when I was told it was the first ever anime to do a lot of the things it did, and I watched it and was like, huh, it's not. That kind of sullied the experience for me. Okay, but like EVA isn't the only or the first anime to have existential crises or be confusing. Yeah, not just Gundam, but basically half of all robot shows have kids fight and die in robots. Yeah, no, again, not saying EVA is bad, but I feel like everybody who's hyping it, or most of the people who have are hype it to the extent that it was hyped to me, have never watched another mech show. I've never watched another series where somebody is struggling through a mental breakdown. Okay, boss fight time. I struggle. Oh, shoot. Crap. Ah! Is this strat working? I don't think so, but... I have a potion. Let's use it. That did barely anything, but whatever. Wait, did I not use the item? How many times must I kill you before you die? No! I feel like, okay, after dying, I feel like EVA suffers from a severe case of fan base to series disconnect. Like, if EVA was advertised to me like a visual masterpiece like Utena, and it feels like Utena, I probably would have watched it going into it with a different mindset and would have appreciated it a lot more than being told that it was a masterpiece that was the first show to do all of these things that it was not the first show to do any of. So, I and yeah, I do agree with you with a bunch of shonen battle shows. Like, the fan base is like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I watch it. Jujutsu Kaisen. And the animation's good, but none of the plot points, the beats, any of that is at all unique. Do not tell me that Jujutsu Kaisen is really freaking good and the best whatever if you've never actually seen more than Dragon Ball Z. My sister made me watch Jujutsu Kaisen, and like, okay, so my sister is kind of a bit of a hater in that anything that I was into growing up, for the most part, she would avoid it because she didn't want to be compared to me, which I get. I feel like, you know how a lot of twins have that whole thing where they're trying not to be compared to each other? Like, my sister and I had that, except we're not twins. It was just a strange thing where if I was good at something, she wouldn't do it. And if she was good at something, I wouldn't do it to appease her and not make her feel whatever. And because of that, I was really into shonen stuff like Naruto. I read Bleach for a while. I didn't One Piece, but now I'm forgetting every shonen series I've watched because I really don't want to remember most of them. But yeah, I was really into shonen series back in my youth, and my sister, because I was into them, just avoided them. And so because of that, she hasn't seen a lot of quote unquote classic shonens, and so now she's watching them now with her fiance, who that's his favorite genre, and she's seeing something that's basically, I'ma be real, Jujutsu Kaisen is like every shonen from the mid early 2000s with a fresh coat of paint. And she's like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And when I'm like, these themes have all been recycled, and it's kind of, it feels like somebody put everything that was popular in a blender and spat it out and feels disingenuine, she gets mad at me. So I understand why people like it. I get how it's a really, like, if you've never seen a shonen and you've never sort of seen that genre of anime before, I understand how the animation is definitely by far the best thing about the series. And that has nothing, like, the animation is completely disconnected from the plot, the writing, just the characters as a whole. Who is it, Madhouse that animated it? They really did a good job. It's very pretty, and that's about all I can say nice about it. I will say my thoughts on Demon Slayer as soon as I get destroyed by these dragons again. I don't want to fight them anymore. Don't let me rant about anime when I'm losing boss fights. It's not fair. This is a handicap that I don't need. Am I supposed to just attack one of them? I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. Okay. The problem with shonen is that you can get away with bad writing if your art is good. I think, like, shonen is for people who... I understand that there's, like, media that's just shut off your brain and enjoy it. And maybe this is just a personal pet peeve of mine, but I have never enjoyed fight scenes in shonen. Like, never. And I understand that that's the main appeal for most of the people watching them. So, clearly it's not made for me. Like, I think... I take that back. I take that back. The only shonen series that I've enjoyed the fight scenes of has got to be JoJo. And the reason being, it's not just Sans Part 3, but I don't like to talk about Part 3. I like to pretend that Part 3 did not exist. Okay. The fights in Part 3 were not great. Don't at me, but, like, there were maybe, like, 5 Part 3 fights that were worth rewatching, but the rest of them could have gone. You could get rid of 90% of the fights in Part 3, and I would not be opposed to that. That was Araki getting used to stands and stuff and writing them, and I'm not going to fault him for it, but I do think that Part 3 had the weakest fights. It did have, like, the Dio and Jotaro fight was pretty hype. That was a pretty good fight, but most of them were very, very punch, 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 punch. And I'm not a fan of punch, punch, punch type of action. I like the other JoJo fights because it's not just punch, punch, punch. It's, here, I have some bullshit, you have some bullshit. Let me explain how my bullshit counteracts your bullshit, and it actually makes sense. And I enjoy that. Like, when I was watching or reading Naruto, because I stopped watching it after a certain point, I was never most interested in the Naruto fights themselves. I was more interested in I'll be real, like, a lot of people were upset about the whole Madara flashback arc, in the manga, but I was ecstatic. That was my favorite part of the series. Real talk. Real talk, like all of this Uchiha drama and pettiness, that was my favorite aspect of Naruto. Like I could, if you took out all the fights in Naruto, I would have still enjoyed it as a middle schooler. I would probably have enjoyed it more. Yeah, JoJo is a fever dream, but the fights are all fun and it's never the same thing. Like, even if your protagonist, like in JoJo, you could know that somebody's gonna win because they're a good guy and the other person's a bad guy, but you never know how they're gonna win. And I think that's what makes, like, most shonen lacks a sense of logic. And I'm not, let me rephrase that. Most shonen that isn't based on, like, I don't know, would you consider, like, the wrestling, boxing stuff, the haiku, the volleyball, manga, are those are shonen, right? So I'm gonna say most shonen that has its own fighting, world-building style, not world-building, it has its own, like, magic, BS, leveling system, usually, God. Let me get out of this area where things are trying to kill me and then I'll go in depth. Talking about fiction, this is a topic I love to discuss as a person who has written essays over how you can't say, unlike most series, you can't. Okay, I'm gonna just pause for a sec. Okay. Time for today's detour. Alright, so most series like that have any type of action, magical BS have there are two ways to write your fictional magical fights, right? So there's a leveling system, which is like in video games where power scaling, leveling, power scaling is one way. That, in my opinion, is the cheaper way of writing. And then there is, or not cheaper, the easier way to write a fight scene. And then there is, what's it called? Logic. Logic weakness based. If anybody knows a better name for this. Okay, so these are the two ways to write magical fights in fiction. So leveling, power scaling basically says, I have worked out longer than you, my muscles are bigger, I win. No matter what you do, because my muscles are bigger than your muscles, I have more chakra, I have more magical potential, I am going to kick your ass. There is no way around it. I have been breathing longer and harder on mountains than you have. Therefore, anytime you be me, I will always win. Then there is logic / weakness based. That means that every single ability has a weakness, a setback of some sort. So even though I have bigger muscles, I've been working out longer than you, if you can make me sneeze in the middle of our fight, you can win. You know what I'm saying? So JoJo is a rare example of a shonen that has logic weakness-based fighting. I will say that Naruto on occasion pulls this out, but it's only when the power scaling fails. And let's say, for those who have seen Naruto, a good example of them trying to do the logic weakness-based is when Sasuke fights Deidara. And Deidara is clearly like 10 times more powerful than Sasuke. He's going to beat Sasuke's ass. But because Sasuke uses, lightning, and they mention, like, one time 100 chapters earlier that Earth chakra is weak to lightning chakra, and they bring it up just this one time for this one fight, Sasuke wins. That, I think, is poor writing. If you have a logic weakness-based system that you only put into account when the scaling doesn't work, that, in my humble opinion, is cheap and makes your fights less interesting to watch. Because even if your protagonist isn't the stronger person in your, like, scaling system, you know they're gonna win because they're the protagonist. But in a logic weakness based fighting system, JoJo is a good example of it. As much as people hate on Miraculous Ladybug nowadays, I haven't seen it recently, so I don't know why they're hating on it, but apparently they do. That's a good example of a logic weakness based system, even though I will admit Ladybug's ability to summon whatever she needs at any given moment is kind of overpowered. It changes, and it's not like she's always like, my Ladybug skills are stronger than yours. She has to actually put thought into what she's going to do to defeat this villain, right? And this one is so much more entertaining and better to experience than this one. Yeah, I haven't watched past season 3, so all I know is that Hawkmoth and his assistant are my OTP, and I will fight anyone that's against the two of them. Okay, so yeah. So the problem with most shonen is because of the leveling / power scaling, because they don't really have to put thought into the fights. Also, the leveling power scaling system, a lot of the times they don't actually utilize any type of tactics or skill. They'll be like, okay, well, we have to put our strongest person here to fight that person. Oh no, that person's at a different spot. My favorite character's almost gonna die, but the main character's gonna show up and it'll be great. Like that's the most intense a fight gets in a leveling / power scaling scenario. But in a logic weakness based scenario, for example, I'm going to use JoJo again because I think that's the best example that everyone here is aware of. They can always, like, even if your protagonist doesn't need to be the strongest to win. The antagonist doesn't have to be stronger than your protagonist to beat them. Because of the way Araki writes, and the main character might not always win fights, you never know what's going to happen, and because there's so much going on, there's so much like thought going into it, those are very entertaining. And note that these are magic fighting systems. So these are magical fighting systems, which are basically when you are creating a system in which your characters need to fight in your made-up universe with their made-up abilities. These are the two main ways you can go about it. Granted, there are other ways to go about, like Harry Potter doesn't go with either. Harry Potter is just bullshit based, and I will not go into Harry Potter because it's bullshit based. And Harry Potter magic, like fighting, the magic in Harry Potter isn't equipped for like a fighting series. And because of that, the fights, if you can even call them that in Harry Potter, are just BS from the get-go. They're just BS because the magic system in that isn't built on the foundations of logic in any way. It's more of like an ethereal magic where you kind of just believe and it works, which doesn't work when you're trying to explain why someone wins a fight. You see what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm just kind of like... Sorry if I'm going too heavy, right? So, magic fighting is this. However, there are other series like Berserk, which use like a more realistic approach to fighting. And when I say fighting, that's not just like that's not necessarily like hand to hand, like any type of conflict that is solved with any sort of violence or force is what I'm calling fighting in this comparison, right? Well, magic isn't... Okay, so the magic in Harry Potter works on like a level that works better. So I understand that the fight scenes aren't the main focus of Harry Potter. So I'm not going to... You can call out J.K. Rowling on a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to, like... It works in the universe it's in, but it doesn't. Because since... Okay, so we're going to talk about more magic in a different way anyway, but this is just if you are having one character or a group of characters up against another characters and you're trying to tell your audience why someone wins, these are the two main ways that you explain to your audience why so-and-so wins. If you have a leveling, power scaling don't. Like, that's so much less interesting than this. Logic and weakness based. Okay, but anywho, so this is your magic fighting where anything with, I'm calling magic anything with superpowers, anything with like Full Metal Alchemist. I know that it's alchemy and it's science, but I'm gonna, for the sake of this, that's going to be considered magic, right? For Full Metal Alchemist, it's more of a logic weakness based. For JoJo, Miraculous Ladybug, those would be considered logic weakness based. Things like most shonen would go into leveling power scaling, right? So Dragon Ball Z, leveling. Naruto, leveling. They try to say, Naruto tries to act like it's not leveling, it's leveling. I'm sorry, it's leveling. And then we have a more realistic fighting. Like, for example, Berserk has some magical elements in terms of their fighting. Like the universe of reality based fighting. So Berserk is a rare, very rare example of a series that I have seen that is action that has fighting in it, that is fictional and includes things like magic, that doesn't have either of these. So a reality-based fighting system is one where somebody's, like, okay, so even though they do sometimes use magic in fights in Berserk, Guts, you can beat Guts, even though Guts is a strong bodybuilder who, according to the leveling and power scaling, should be able to beat anyone. If you get him on a bad day when he's absolutely exhausted from sleep deprivation, you can beat him. That is grounded in reality. Yeah, okay, so yeah, soft magic and hard magic are two different, yeah, thank you. So those were the ones that I wanted to say. So hard magic is where your magic has definitive rules, your magic has logic, you have to put energy in to get something out. Fullmetal Alchemist is hard magic, Harry Potter is soft magic. Because Harry Potter is soft magic, all of the fights that they're trying to like have happen in it is, because it's all soft and they never actually explain why these, why is Voldemort more powerful than anyone else? They never explicit, like, okay, yeah, he split his soul, yeah, but okay, if Voldemort can go up to somebody and go Avada Kedavra, why can't somebody just go up to him and go Avada Kedavra and just, even, okay, so like Voldemort as a whole, why can't you just go Avada Kedavra to him? Like, they mention that it's like a mental thing, but at the same time, they never explicitly explain how. So, in a series where, I'm gonna be real, the magic in Harry Potter makes sense for the first few books, but as soon as they try to have, I think like book number, the end of the fourth book, as soon as they have these magic battles and stuff, it stops making sense. like you can't tell me that Voldemort is more powerful than somebody else because he just was born inherently more evil in a soft magic society when theoretically anyone else can do the same spells he's doing if they just say the magic word and point their wand a certain way. Please look up the Brandon Sanderson essays. Okay, I've never heard of this person before, but okay, I will look him. Okay. I don't know what I was. Oh yeah. So my issue with most shonen is they have a leveling power scaling system, which is not entertaining to watch. It's not like you aren't invested in it because you know how it's gonna end. Like, but in a leveling power scaling situation, unless it's like a video game scenario where you are personally the person leveling up your character, power scaling them, or a situation like One Punch Man, I has a leveling system, but One Punch Man isn't about the fighting. One Punch Man is about everything else, but the fighting's there, the fighting's badass, but it doesn't feel like, it's not a show that's, God, it's a shonen, but it's not focused on fighting. It's not, we know from the get-go that he's gonna win, and he doesn't want to win. So the problem isn't that he needs to beat someone. The problem is he needs someone who he'll struggle to beat. And so Whereas most shonen is, okay, here's my roadblock, I have to fight this roadblock to get to the next roadblock. In One Punch Man, the problem is he's knocking down all the roadblocks like dominoes, and he wants them to stay up. So that is a situation where the leveling system works with the universe, and it's still entertaining to observe. Okay, let me look up this person. Alright. What's his name? Let me find. Okay, so you said his name was Brandon Sanderson. Oh! Oh, I've seen this guy's books before. I don't think I've read any of them, but I am familiar with his like, okay, I know who we're talking about. Actually, wait a second. I have some of these don't ask me why. I own one of his Magic the Gathering books. Okay. Okay, I know who we're talking about. Cool. I will look into his essays at a later date. But that's my rant. Any questions on my very uneducated trying to explain things that I don't understand? And okay, and somebody mentioned the MCU. Okay, I have thoughts about this. I'm actually, you know what? I'm not going to defend the Marvel Cinematic Universe because all of my defenses will come from, well, the comics were really good that they're based off of. But if you want a comic book that a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe takes inspiration of without actually attributing it to any of the characters that appear in it, I would strongly recommend my personal favorite comic book series ever, Journey into Mystery. It is a Marvel comic, but it's not an action comic. So a lot of the Marvel comic, I think, has the best writing that the most of the fan base slept on, because comic book fans are like shonen fans. They want some fighting. But this is a comic book series written. Okay, let me just get it. I can't exactly explain this without let me. Please read Journey into Mystery by Kieran Gillen. It's the Kid Loki arc. It is the best comic book I've ever read. The whole thing is about this small little being, Kid Loki, pretending to be a supervillain, but he has like no powers. And so the entire thing is about him avoiding fights and instigating other people fighting on his behalf so that he can continue to pretend that he has godly abilities when he has none. Please read it. I don't know, this collection has been out of print for a while, but if you are interested in reading the Kid Loki arc or any of Kieran Gillen's writing, I can give you a guide on this, on reading it. It's so good. I can give you like a chronological order of what issues you need to have, because this collection has all of the I know comic books are more difficult to get into than manga because you have to find a good jumping on point, and there's so many different crossover events that are critical to understanding the main story that it can be kind of daunting to figure out which ones are mandatory reading and which ones aren't. I do have like an actual guide. At one point, they're not organized like that anymore. I do have like post-it notes and stuff that I have in here that shows at what point another comic collection is mandatory to reading it. This collection is the one that has all of the crossover events, except for one that are important to the story. I just want to like, so I found every single SAT vocabulary word my senior year of high school. I'm sorry, AP SAT vocabulary word. If any of those letters mean anything to you, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you're just jarble. But like, every single vocab word is in these two mega volumes. The print job's so good. The font, I will say, because in the comic books, they do have different fonts based on what language people are speaking. So because Kid Loki is speaking Allspeak, which is what the god characters speak, which basically lets him understand any other language, his font is really wacky. They later updated it, but the OG Allspeak font is just kind of disgusting. I don't know if that shows up. Some of the art in some of the arcs is not my favorite, but some of it's just really, really good. I love the pencil arc that they watercolored over. This is really pretty to me. The print job is phenomenal. If somebody touched my Journey into Mystery books and spilled water on them, I would probably be in jail for what I would do. I love these books to pieces. But let me find... And Kieron Gillen is just a really, really good author. I freaking love everything he's written. If you don't want to read a Marvel comic, but still want to read some of Kieron Gillen's work, I highly recommend reading The Wicked and the Divine, which is what he worked on after, I don't want to say retiring, but leaving Marvel for a bit. So, yeah, please read Journey into Mystery, the Kid Loki arc by Kieron Gillen. I'm trying to there's like somewhere in here, if I can find it, there's a whole bit where instead of actually having, okay, so what I was trying to say is instead of showing action scenes in this, it has really clever ways of getting around writing action scenes, because there's a protagonist who doesn't fight, and his whole thing is that he's avoiding conflict because he's not strong enough to follow through with the words that are coming out of his mouth. So at one point, instead of having demonstrating a big war, they have they make a tabletop game to demonstrate how the war is going instead of wasting 3 chapters writing about it. And I thought that was one of the best get-arounds I've ever seen. Also, the art for the first chapter and the last chapter is stupidly good. It's one by my favorite Marvel artist, Stephanie Hans. I love her art so much. Just look at that. And I really like how the cover, this is the cover for the first issue, and the collection, the first book in the collection has that cover too. And then the last issue has this cover. And the lighting, the framing, I'm going to stop talking about this, but this is if you get me started on Kid Loki stuff, I will not stop for multiple hours. Please read Journey into Mystery. If you are legitimately interested in it and like look online and the comic issues are too daunting, please DM me or something on Discord. I will gladly give you my Journey into Mystery reading guide, and yeah, and I can go through whatever currently in print comics they have and figure out which ones are mandatory. I'm done talking. Anywho, back to Castlevania. Heck yeah. A cool place to look for comic books, like trade. Okay, so there's 2 different ways of having comic books. Trade issues, which are the ones that I have. Which trade issues are the ones that have the really good printing jobs and have like the entire like a story arc in one bound thing. A lot of times with manga, if you have like an omnibus with multiple volumes in one, the quality is lower. That is not the case with trade copies of comic books. The quality is actually higher. I cannot stress how like you can't see it on camera, but I can see it in person. The pages, the print job for every page is just really, really good. I would recommend for trade copies, if you want them like on sale and what you're looking for has been published in like the last 5 years ish, I would recommend going to Books a Million, and they always have a trade copy, a trade comic section that has like the black dots on them, and you can get a comic that is stupid, would normally be stupidly expensive for about like under $5 a lot of the time. But if you're looking for a specific run of something, like this one's rarer to find because nobody who likes comics has read this. You're not going to find this at Barnes & Noble, but you might have luck finding the IDW Transformers at Barnes & Noble, because that one is relatively more popular, like significantly more popular. And that's where I go anytime I'm looking for a comic that just, because comic books can get expensive. I would recommend Books a Million, their comic book discount area. Just look through that. I have found a lot of my Thor ones, like my big comic collection. I have all of the comics that Kid Loki has ever cameoed in. That's my big, like, I have the whole arc. And so for a bunch of the Thor ones that he cameoed in at that came out at the time, I found at Books a Million for like $3.99. Yeah, the older they are, the more difficult they are to find. But Books a Million, I don't know why or how, they will randomly have books that were published 10 years ago. Like Civil War. I found the Civil War books from like the first Civil War run arc crossover event at Books a Million for $3.99. Just there. So you never know. I recommend just going in and looking, because you never know what you're going to find. And again, if it's like a really, really more obscure series like this one, you're not going to find it there. But anything that even has a marginal to big fan base, you'll probably, there's a possibility. You might not find the first volume, you might find like the second and third, but that's the best place to find discount trade copies of comics. I also recommend, if you have antique stores near you or any type of like reseller, going to one of those and looking, because a lot of the times people who are selling these books, I don't want to say they're not the owners and don't know the worth, but I have gone to just secondhand stores and purchased comic books that I know, because like, okay, so you know how manga usually is like $10 for one issue or one volume, right? Like that's the average price for a volume. Sometimes it's $12.99. We're talking like United States. I'm not using Australian dollars or Canadian dollars, just US dollars. So that, as someone who knows about printing and stuff, comic books trade copies are the only like books that I don't feel are inflated in their price. So the typical trade copy of a comic is going to be about $15 brand new, and that has about usually 5 or 6 issues in it. And an issue, the serialized issues, god damn it. Here. Okay, so for those unfamiliar with comics, this is a serialized issue. See how it's like one little mini magazine. The print job of these are okay. They're not fantastic, but these are the ones that release on like Comic Book Wednesday every month. So these usually come out like individually once a month, and this is just basically one chapter. This is a trade copy, right? And this trade copy is going to include the entire arc, right? And I know that in terms of weight, these look very, like this one looks like it's a little bit thicker, even though this would be, the amount of pages in this one is 6 of these, right? But the print job for this one is so much better. I could have 6 of these trade copies, and again, I can't really exactly weigh them. Well, you can't see how hefty these guys are, but there is so much ink on these pages that this probably weighs half a pound. Like this, what is this? This skinny looking book weighs half a pound. There's about, if I had a kitchen scale, I would demonstrate, but this weighs probably the same amount as 2 or 3 if not more than that, magazines. That's how hefty it is. And it's not because the pages are thin, but the printing and the type of paper is just really good, right? What am I talking about? Okay, so like if you get a trade copy, these are probably the only types of comics I've seen that the only type of book that, in my humble opinion, as someone who knows about ink and printing and all that jazz, that are worth and that are actually worth the amount that they cost. So this one, brand new, would be $25 brand new. I got it at Books A Million for under $6, which is practically a steal, right? Some of my hardback ones that I have over there, I've gone to like secondhand sellers, and they're usually in good condition, but a lot of the times it's the family of the collector selling them, and they don't know how much these are worth. They don't know how much, like, they don't know the value of them, or collectors are just getting rid of ones in sets they don't have space for and just will take anything for them. But that Civil War book would cost at least $50 here. Yeah, this is that. I bought this. Let me see, what year was this published? I bought it way after it was published at Books A Million in their discount area for under $6. So, Books A Million, secondhand books, best place to find, and I've never gone to a secondhand bookstore with the comic book, like trade copies that aren't in good condition. Like my Journey into Mystery, I would admit, this bad boy is probably, like, this, look, I love this book to pieces. I've read it like more times than I can count. The cover's a little bit like indented in places because it's gone with me places, right? This is in worse condition than any of the books I purchased secondhand that have gone through probably 2 or 3 previous owners. So I don't know what I'm saying. Just, yeah, if you want to collect comic books, it's not as expensive as comic book collectors make it seem if you do it in a way that is, yeah. So don't purchase them in serialized issues unless it's like a special edition issue, because 9 times out of 10 they won't really increase in value, and it's not the best print. Like I'm sorry, I am a print person. If it hasn't been apparent, I know a thing or two about ink, paper, and quality print jobs and that whole process. That's my special interest. And they also smell good. Like, you know how sometimes you open a magazine and it smells like okay? Think of a magazine smell, but like 10 times better. That's what trade copies of comics smell like. Just, yeah. Anywho, back to Castlevania. I'm done rambling. Back to Castlevania. And because maybe this is going to be a controversial take, but I'm going to be real. I think if you are trying to get into comic books and you don't know what it is, I think that people are like, oh no, don't read a chapter of whatever online, don't do that. I think that with certain things, especially with comics being as expensive as they can get, I think that it's okay to read a couple chapters of a comic book online, see if you like it, and then if you do, purchase the actual thing. Especially if it's a comic book series that's not currently in print that you can't actually purchase. Maybe that's a hot, spicy take, but when I first got into comics, especially like Journey into Mystery wasn't currently in print, and I didn't have a way of purchasing it at the time, so I did read a good portion of it online, and I enjoyed it. If you are going to read something online and you enjoy it, please purchase it after you read it if you really like it that much, because the comic industry isn't doing as hot as it could be, and yeah, and if it's out of print, I get it. You can't purchase it. But like if you find one that you really like, and you want to support the authors, and it's getting a reprint, please purchase. If you have the means, like, so I purchasing something secondhand isn't exactly like if you want a physical copy, which I love physical copies of things. Oh no, I'm not faulting you for doing that. I too have read things online, not necessarily legally, but if it's something that you really enjoy, and like for example, I would feel forever guilty if I did not legally obtain a copy of Journey into Mystery, my favorite comic book of all time, to support my favorite comic book author, Kieran Gillen. And I will purchase all of his stuff that I read, like, new, so that, because I feel like, if authors are doing a good thing, they're writing, they're doing something you genuinely enjoy, and you want them to continue doing so, and you have the means to afford it, buy it. If you don't, I get it. I'm not, there's nothing wrong with, like, but I personally will almost always, unless I go to like Books A Million, see something that has like a hardback cover and it's in like exquisite condition and costs a very small amount. I usually don't go out and buy comic books. Like I have a list of ones that I was looking for when I was collecting certain ones, and yeah, don't spend $500 on a copy of something, but maybe if it's a new print and not crazy expensive, support the author. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So as soon as Journey into Mystery had its reprint in like I think 2015 is when they re-released it. I pre-ordered that baby as soon as it was available. It seemed like. Like, so if you read it again, or if you want a guide on how to read it, yeah, just comment whatever. I might just have a whole thing in the description. I don't know. I feel like more people need to read my favorite comic book series. Anywho, back to Castlevania. Okay, I'm just gonna target one of these. I think that's the way to go. I'm just gonna target this guy over here. I'm not gonna attack the other one. This is not working. Cause like, I'm not making any progress, it feels like, with this guy. He's really just letting me have it. Okay, you know what? No, I lied. I'm gonna target the other one because its head is lower more at the time. Okay, well this isn't working. Alright, well. Continue. Okay, I'm gonna see if maybe... Let's see. Let's figure out what my other cards do, and maybe one of them's gonna be better equipped for fighting this boss. So apparently the cards are something I need. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we have no idea what this one does. Cool. Let's see what this one does. Okay, so what does this do? 2 fireballs circle you in defense. Alright, that's pretty nifty. Okay, let's see, what other... Wrong one. Let's see, what does this do? Damn it, I keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, so we still don't know what this one does. Shoot. Okay, well that was spicy. Okay. You know what? I'm not gonna fight the dragons. I'm gonna, let's see what our map looks like. Go elsewhere. Venture elsewhere. See what else is out in this world. I love forgetting what my buttons do. That's always... Okay, I guess I just hit thing now. I guess that's cool. Let's see what this one does. Hit me. Okay, we have We've not figured out what it does. Woo. See if... Yeah, we still don't know what it does. I'm just gonna, you know, go back. Go back. No! So I guess I gotta go low again. Oh, I now understand why this is so low. Because the game is basically made so that that platform won't appear until it's off screen. And so the only way to get it to be off screen without me leaving the room is to have me go lower. That makes sense. What have I learned? Is the question. Yeah, we still don't know what this does. Okay, I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, this is the only way. I'm gonna take my 2 little fireballs and just be gone with me. Oh, okay, let's see. I got a new card. Let's see what that bad boy does. Ooh, I like this. Okay, okay. Let's see what other combos we can do. Okay, these seem like they could be helpful. Let's see, where was I before? I want to go up. Hey, my dudes, my specter fellas, could you, like, stop? Okay, I'm just gonna, sprint. It's the only way. I have not managed to kill a single of these Mothmen. King Moths. Okay, I lied. So one singular one that I, decimated. Okay, victory, kind of, sort of, maybe. Time to go into that unexplored terrain and see what's up. I forgot about these. Oh yeah, I can't go in that area. Okay, I'm gonna not go. Let's try it. Stop hitting me, please. Is there any way for me to get up there? Wait, I can climb walls. I'm Spider-Man. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not Spider-Man. I'm just Nathan Graves. Oh. Toodaloo. Ah, shoot. There we go. Finally. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this room. It's angering me. I kind of went in this room earlier. Oh yeah, I can't go any further in this room. Classic Castlevania move. Just gatekeeping me like this. Okay, instead of going here, what if, perhaps... Okay, so this is, oh crud. No, these stupid blocks, roadblocks in my path. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. I say cool, but I'm not, it's not that cool. This uncharted terrain was not worth it. Yeah, it's looking like I'll have no choice but to fight that dragon again. I don't want to fight the dragon. How about I'm gonna find that the spinny Bibles, and I'll get the spinny Bible and use that to fight the dragon instead of the axes I currently have. I feel like the spinny Bible, the Bibles would be a little bit more helpful, or the cross, or whatever they are. I have become stone. Please drop something. Or if they just drop some healing items, that'd also be pretty cool. It's not gonna happen, but I can dream. Okay. let's see. Hmm. I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go up this time. See if anyone will, you know, be nice to me and be like, hey, here's a little gift and drop something for me. Unlikely, but it'd be cool if it happened. So there looks like there's an area that's just an open gaping hole, and I think if I can go into it, I can find a hidden room or something. Seems likely. They wouldn't just have like a hole there for no reason, right? That would make no sense. Ooh. Will I regret saving here? Probably. Wait, there might have been something in the room below me that had that Iron Maiden guarding it. So let's go find out. Nope, just had very tall ceilings. Good to know. Block. Not what I was looking for. Back up we go. Yeah, this is definitely the way to go. Having these fireballs make the... Oh, shoot. Dang it. I lied. I was gonna say, having the fireballs make the Medusa heads so much easier. So we've almost made it to one of the holes. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do at all, but whatever. I have That's definitely not going to help against the dragons, but whatever. I can now shoot poison or something. Just start hitting the wall and hopefully it'll do something. So be hitting one of these walls here. But I feel like since this is in itself a secret room, it might not be in here. There might not be anything in here. Yeah, there's nothing in here. Dang nabbit. Hitting the wall has failed me. No! Free me. Ah. Guess I'm just stuck like this. This is... Okay, there we go. The amount of time it takes to become unfrozen in this game is ridiculous. Nothing in that wall. Okay. I mean, it's no healing potion, but I got a magic gauntlet. I guess that's cool. Back up we go. Straight across. Oh no, that's no longer an option. Okay, cool. No, I prefer the clock over. I don't know what the clock does, but I like it. Looks cool. Pretty sure it's supposed to stop something or something, but nothing has seemed to be stopped with the clock in it. in effect, so I'm not sure what the clock does. It's just here, I guess. I'm just gonna go back down because this isn't doing it for me. Whee! Boop. What if I put Miracle Armband on both arms? What would happen? Let's see if having both Miracle Armbands on actually makes it so that people drop things more often. Okay, so I got bronze armor. I think this is actually working on something. So the other day I was looking for something to watch, so I googled things if you like Rosa Versailles. It was the wildest and funniest anime list I've ever seen. I'm very curious. I'm gonna assume Utena was on it and everything else made no sense. Let's see. Let's see this silly little... Let's see. 15 plus best anime like the Rose of Versailles. Dear Brother. Okay. Les Miserables Shoujo Cassette. Yona of the Dawn. Naturally. I'm gonna be real. I haven't seen half of these. Berserk. Okay. Is this the site you used? Let's... Best similar. Candy. Vinland Saga. Snow White with the red hair. I'm not familiar with enough of these to really know how, yeah. Oof. No. Don't, no. The hell? What? Okay, yeah, no, I see what you mean. These are really silly. Somebody recommending Shield Hero if you like Rosa Versailles is one of the spiciest and wackiest takes I've ever seen in my life. That might be the worst take ever. Okay. Where was that little... Yeah, it's down in this room. Shield Hero could have been good. It could have. It had the potential, but some of the things that it did weren't necessarily choices I would have made. But hey, I'm not the writer, I guess, so I don't really... Okay, so I have the luck things on, so those should make me lucky enough to get items. I feel like so many isekai series could have been good if they didn't try to make them video game like. Like, the moment you say, oh, I can see my HP bar, that's where you lose me. That's where I'm no longer interested in your anime. The moment they have the ability to see their own stats, I'm done. I guess okay, I'm free now. I am very lucky, so these guys gotta drop things for me, please and thank you. I have lucky ability. Please give me thing. Harpy lady, give me your drops. She gave me nothing. You look like a guy that has some good drops. Or nothing. Okay, these moths, I'm done with them. I tire of their mothlessness. Isekai is like every other genre. Good writing is good and bad writing sucks. Yeah. I think Isekai has more tropes than other genres though. Like, how do I put it? Isekai, because it has so many, there's so many isekai out there now, it's become like a systemic, not systemic, there's tropes that you expect from isekai now. Like, truck-kun, someone dying, of course, in like the first episode is a classic isekai trope. And it, unlike, oh shoot, I didn't save. Damn it, I didn't save. Crap. I didn't save. Okay, give me a second to actually shoot. Get back to where I was before. How could I not have saved? I always save. I think my least favorite aspect of isekai is the fact that they all try to be video game themed. And if you will recall from my leveling and power scaling or whatever rant from earlier, the video game power scaling is one of my least favorite things to see in a non-video game environment. So please give me potion. Okay, one guy is giving me a potion. That was really cool of him. Half the isekai should just be fantasy, but they went with the that would cost X yen joke. I think like if they were fantasy without video game aspects, that would make it so much better to me. Also, like I agree. So many isekai, if they were just like straight up just fantasy and they didn't have a protagonist from another world, I could respect them a lot more. Let's see if this connects the way I think it connects. If it does, that would be fantastic. I found a shortcut. Maybe. No! I hate these blocks. I hate them. Yes, I have a vendetta against blocks. Welcome back with the foe. I have equipped 2 miracle bracelets so that drops are even more common than they were before. And I'm ultra lucky, and I'm just walking around letting these guys just give me stuff. They will die if they run into me. And I like that. I like that feeling of power. So back to the basement we go. Remember when this used to give me trouble? I don't. Please drop more thing. Okay, so I have to go to a save room and save. Don't let me forget to save, because that's what I did last time and I don't want to do that again. Okay, so where I'm going, save room. What am I doing there? Saving. Okay, going over. I like these fireballs, they're pretty cool. I wonder if they can like level up at some point so I can have multiple fireballs. Okay, so up 2 rooms should take me to the save room. This should be the save room. Yeah, okay, so now we save. I think I'm strong enough to fight the dragons or something, even though I don't think I made any progress in the last couple of attempts, but I have potion now. I have fireball. I think I can do it. I'm super lucky, which I will replace my luck with strength before. Down we go. Ah. Okay, let's see if that guy drops anything. No, never mind. Those stupid bees. Don't want your silly knives. I'm happy with my ability to stop time. Okay, so here's a save room. These specters will stop spooping around. Okay, saving. Okay, I'm gonna go back one, not all the way around, but just back into the other room, see if those poison guys drop anything good, and if they don't, whatevs. If they do, also cool. Okay, well, they are kicking, this guy's kicking my butt. Very, very much not enjoying this. There was a skeleton guy down here, I believe. No, just mushroom dudes. Okay, because the skeletons tend to drop the healing stuff. Don't know what's up with the skeletons and their healing items, but that's usually what they got. Back up we go. Save, yes. I'm going to change my items so that I hit hard. go fight some dragon. Okay, no, stop chasing me. I have the ability to stop time or something and it's not working. Why isn't my time stopping ability working? This is silly. Well, that was useless. Am I winning? I don't think I'm winning. I might be losing. Yeah, I might not have done too hot, but I think I figured out okay, so we've learned that the clock one is useless in this particular fight. Time to get the gun out? I wish. I wish Nathan Graves just had a gun. What if I item, instead of star bracelet, we use the strength ring, so that when I throw things, they do more damage. Come on, come on. Also, item, use. Yes! Final. Oh, for flip's sake. Okay, so only one of them died. Okay, wait. I think I got both of them. Yay! Good riddance. You ugly dragons. Heavy ring received. Thank God. Finally. I've been waiting so long for this. Okay. So, back. I think you guys know what I'm gonna do with that heavy ring. Move some boxes and crates. Alright. Let's go. I think we might get to Dracula today. I don't have to take this. So I go out here. Oh, this is the wrong room. Oh, I did it. No! So close. Forgot how to slide. No! Damn it. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. Okay, you know what? Maybe I can't do it, and that's okay. We all have to know our limitations, and I cannot slide quickly, so let's just go down and see what's up. Never mind. Don't you have to fight death before Dracula? I'm pretty sure I've already fought death. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure I beat him. Oh no, I'm nowhere near Dracula. No, I'm saying that I think we could get that far in the game that I get to Dracula. Like, that was a joke. We're nowhere near that. I think you have to have, at a minimum, 80% of the castle in any Castlevania game to get to Dracula, and I have, according to this, 58% of the castle complete. So, my map doesn't even say the percentage, so I think that there's going to be some wonky Castlevania foo happening with that map pretty soon. Okay, heck yeah. Finally. Okay, so from here, if I am not mistaken, and I often am, so who knows, there should be another area with that somewhere near me. Oh, there's multiple areas. Okay, so we're gonna go up and get some of those rooms. Because I know that... Okay, you know what, Mr. Skeleton? I don't know what you think you're accomplishing by being a pain, but, it's nothing. There was an area in the entryway that I couldn't do before, so that's where we're going. Go to the entryway of the castle. I do not remember these succubi before. Okay. Let's see what's beyond the crate in this area. Stop giving me knives. I don't want knives. There we go. New area. Underground warehouse. Dang. Fox Hunter. More furries. You know what this game needed more of? Furries. I'm glad the devs get it. Hilariously, I keep getting these magic point increases, and I haven't ever run out of magic in this game yet. Like, I've run out of hearts, but not magic. Okay, so I should have saved earlier than I did, so let's see where the game spits me out. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's about right. Okay, we're not doing the same thing I did before. I'm smarter now. I'm gonna take the easy way out and just go this way. Honestly, life would be better with more furry content. I will let you believe that. I'm a woman of class, so I prefer scalies. Where are we going? Will I die before I make it to the save room? Let's find out. Wait, I'm really close, so I don't think I will. Woo. Shut up. No, that's... I see no difference between scaly and furry. Okay, well, the difference is, unfortunately, furries have become mainstream. They got fur. Scalies are still majestic creatures, and okay, look, I'm not gonna say it aloud because I don't want my stream removed again, but I will Google search it for you so you understand. There. I hope that cleared things up for you. Okay, so the hunters with big nuts at a furry con, that was an idea, but then I realized that that's actually a thing that some of these furries are into, and now I'm not comfortable doing it anymore. What if we showed up dressed as PETA? Lamau. I feel like half of PETA's recent posts and like campaigns or whatever is just furry stuff. Wait, there's something. Alright, we're gonna keep going. I have gotten a cursed ring. That's what you call an engagement ring that the person proposing to you has used on 3 other people before you. A cursed ring. Okay, still unable to go in this area. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. So there should be something directly above me. Heck, yeah. Yeah. Why does it keep trying to give me things that only work on the ground when I'm in areas where things fly? I'd say most wedding rings are cursed, but I'm biased. I have no opinion one way or the other. So nothing really to contribute. Right. Oh yeah, there's also another area in this area that I couldn't access before. While we're here, why not? Just go check it out. Tee-hee, take that, you silly swords. Look who's power scaled now. That's what I thought. because marriage is cringe, lamau. I mean, like, I get the idea of it. I do think that it's a little, um, if you don't have any stability in your relationship to begin with, marriage is not going to increase that. And some people think that like getting married will fix all their problems, and that's silly to me. So my spicy takes are just lukewarm. Okay. Sorry, I thought I was saying something a little wild, a little crazy, if you will. I do feel that in a lot of situations, and this isn't like the majority of marriage, this is just like some situations where one of the people, typically, not always, but typically a abusive partner who also happens to be male, I don't know why, it's almost always the dudes, but they will try to trap somebody into a marriage so that they can't leave and like either trap them, and I think that's not cool. I think okay, we're just gonna go back down. You know, it's so much faster going down than coming up. Yeah. That's conservatism that wants to lock people in bad situations. It's crazy how like so many people that are abusive and using laws to their advantage to abuse people are conservative. I'm not saying all of them are, but I'm just saying it's kind of interesting. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm back. Back to, finding blocks and destroying them. Okay, so there might be some blocks in this room up here. I think that it's just gonna be a tall ceiling, but let's find out. Yeah, it's just a tall ceiling. Let's see, what other areas? So any hallway that's sort of half finished should have a block or something in front of it. I don't remember where I was before I died, like a second ago. So I'm just gonna go back to the foyer, because I think that's where I went, and see what's up. Okay, guys, I gotta focus. I gotta go fast. We're not reaching speed running speeds, but it's definitely close. Definitely close to speed running speeds. I wonder if after I get a certain amount of useless item, I can trade it in for a better item. That'd be cool. Stop giving me knife. Back to the underground warehouse where I died last time. Please stop trying to kill me, Mr. Hippogriff. Not very fun, not very cool. Oh shit. Can I push multiple blocks in a row is the question. Okay, we're just gonna, that was the wrong one, antidote, shit. I cannot push multiple ones in a row. I remember you. Table that wants to kill me. Yay, safe room. Okay, we have a puzzle. It's been a while since I've seen a puzzle, so... Yeah, I just destroyed the puzzle. Um, let's maybe not do that. Let's go back and attempt the puzzle again. Okay, so push. Yay, success. I like how I can just destroy these bone towers, not even being on the same platform as them. That's pretty cool. Take this, you bone tower. More like bone coward. Hello, new person whose name I cannot pronounce. I apologize. Okay. I want to figure out what the puzzle is before I attempt. Okay, so I need to be able to go up this thing over here. So what I want to do that wasn't it. That was not what I needed to do. Let's go back and try this guy a second time. And then from here, I should be able to just slide on over. Oh dang, that does a lot of damage. Not great. Okay, this works. This works. I can just crouch and hit him. Success. No, no more werebears. Okay, this is getting silly. They're attacking me. I don't want to be attacked. I think I just done goofed ruining the puzzle. So I'm gonna go back. Do I have an item? I have no healing item. Fabulous. No! Dang it. Okay. I'll fight the chairs again. The chairs wouldn't kill me. Like, they might hurt me, but they won't kill me. You know what? No, I'll go back down. These fellas are being mean. I get that it's their job, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Okay, so, it has been about 3 hours. I am going to take a break before my hands decide that they don't like me anymore and fall off. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. We fought some dragons.